All right, with us in studio, we love having him in fact, he was just showing us his phone.
That's an honor.
Yeah, it is. It is. Anytime, like
he had a photo of us on there. I just didn't want to stop there and have people think like he showed us his phone, and we're like, this is impressive that this man owns a phone. No, he had a picture from the last time he was in here of the actual soundproofing tiles that we have in our main studio area. You know, and we don't have a big studio, but we try to keep it nice. But I apparently you really like it, and we appreciate that. To me, that's like an honor.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you kept that on your phone, like that makes me feel like we actually did something. See, I can go into the weekend knowing I did something right.
Also, I'm surprised because every touring, headlining stand-up comedian goes and does so much media in every single city. I'm surprised even when people remember us. I'm like, how many radio stations and podcasts do you do every week? You know, it's insane, but he's going to be at the Orlando Improv. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 1 show on Sunday. Benji Brown, what's going on, dude?
Man, thank y'all, Tom and Dan, for having this. I mean, this is, you're right. I do a lot of stations and interviews around the nation, and you know, when something has an impact on you, you know, it's just, it was like a drop in an anchor, man, when I walked in. I'm like, this is the Mecca. This is, if I was doing the podcast, if I was doing, this is the blueprint.
You want it cozy, not koozie. That's a cross between coos and koozie. That's bad. Or something you put a beer on. I can't. It's early this morning. I was watching a clip of you on Tom Joyner.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing the biggest shows in the world.
Yeah.
But what was remarkable about this clip is that you stayed in your character, or well, I won't say that. I don't want to blow up anybody's spot. But he's doing a character. Where is Tom? Is he at his house?
Yeah,
because you don't see
primarily,
him.
Yep.
And then that's how big he is.
Yeah.
I mean, like that guy to me is a legend. I put him in the same categories like a Rush Limbaugh, Howard Stern. They, you know, the greatest.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you agree with them, you know, especially like your Rush or your Howards, maybe too aggressive. I don't know anybody that doesn't know or like Tom Joyner.
And it seems like
biggest in the world.
Radio guys, like when you make it to the tippy top of the highest.
When you're doing like 3 shows a day and you're traveling. And,
I mean, and
he just stays at home nude.
But
in a closet.
But and Tom Joyner probably is the exception to this rule. But in the most part, of like when you make it to the
he's
tippy,
retiring this year. Somebody in the Twitch chat room said, I didn't know.
Yes,
that.
yes. This is the last swan song from Tom Joyner.
When you get in the biggest in terrestrial radio, you start thinking just like, how do I work less? How can I make this job easier?
Well, for me,
I'm gonna do it from my house.
Yeah, for me, like if we hit that, we just weren't successful. You know, like we hit that wall where we're like, "Fuck this! I can't do this anymore."
Because if you make it, and Benji, you know, and like you're familiar with terrestrial radio, but once you get to like the higher echelon of terrestrial radio, you can make it really, really easy on yourself. Like it becomes like almost you put on autopilot, and then you're like, I'll just wake up and do this show in my robe in my basement. Like it doesn't matter. Like
stand-ups don't get that though. Like it would be impossible for you to do that.
Yeah,
it's a grind.
Do the show from the hotel.
Who are we talking? Who are we talking to that said that would be the future? Was it Bill Bellamy? Was it Bellamy that was in here that was talking about how as things progress, eventually there will be that person that is successful doing like a hologram version of themselves in different areas?
That's so crazy.
It might have been Guy Torrey or something. Somebody that was in here.
Guy Torrey.
Was it Guy?
It had to be Guy. Guy would think something like that.
He's a little crazy.
I thought I was at the Tribeca Film Festival, and the whole the theme of the festival was VR, and I just like, you know what? Hey, I asked some of the guys, the people who were, you know, coordinating. I was like, hey, do you guys ever? Because everyone had the glasses, and the future of movies. People aren't going to go to the theaters anymore. You're going to be in the movie. Everywhere you
Put
look,
them on and go.
like it was the most craziest shit ever. And I asked him, "Hey, what about you? Ever think we could shoot a comedy special or a show with the VR?"
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Let's do that.
And so we.
That's a dead-on executive.
That's exactly.
Yeah, let's talk about that over lunch sometime.
And it never happened.
Didn't they throw something in there to try and like almost like it's like racist, but they're trying to relate?
Correct.
They're like, let's kick that around at lunch, homie.
Fucking homie.
I'm
I'm
not your homie. Yeah. But y'all brought up Tom. I don't know why I can't remember. Maybe 2 years ago, went to his home. This is when he mentioned
Tom Joyner's home.
Yeah. He has a house in Dallas.
What's he got? Is it compound?
No, I'm gonna tell you. I went to a house where first of all, it's a place called Golden. That's when you know it's Richard. Golden something. And,
what are we gonna name my estate? It's got to be Golden, whatever after Golden is worth.
He had a home that he sold for $20 million, right? And he bought that from the proceeds. He purchased the house that just got built, maybe finished a year ago. I thought that's where he'd be, and I saw cranes. You know, cranes normally are for buildings, skyscrapers, right?
Yeah.
And even the people, you can tell they're foreign. I say, I'm looking for Tom, and he was like, "That Tom no here, Tom no here." And so the person I was with, he said, "Wait, let's go across the street. Tom has a house. He has a freaking mansion across the street from his mansion that is getting ready to be built, and that's the fun house. He only goes to this mansion to watch sports games." And have stripper party.
It's his bro's house.
Stripper party. Like he has a pole. He has a freaking full-fledged boxing ring in there for the girls. And he has
Sasha's got
awesome.
And he has like 3 chefs, right? And I walk in, he's sitting on the couch, and he's getting high. And sorry, Tom, gotta tell you,
He don't give a fuck.
Hey, and he has the chefs in there. Hey, man, you want an omelet? You want some shit? Because I got the munchies. I got the chefs in there cooking. And that's when I asked. When I knew he money, but he has this treadmill. It's the no gravity treadmill. You ever heard of that?
No.
Like it's only 4 in the world. He showed me documentation. He's proud of this. He says, like when only people that I know personally that has this is LeBron James, Tom Brady, and another person, and myself.
And Tom Joyner.
Yeah, Tom Joyner.
LeBron James, Tom Brady.
When you have an injury,
my God.
So you don't have to put pressure on your legs. You're running. They just have these buttons that you put on your clothes or whatever, and so that you're just running on air. You're just running. You're floating. And the buttons are so that you don't float the fuck away. So it keeps you. Hey, this is some money. This is money.
Tom Jordan got an alien treadmill.
And this is what's so funny. I said, damn, I already feel poor, and he keeps going on. Oh, and
did he let you try it?
No, I wanted to get on it. He was like, hell no, you ain't gonna sue me.
Yeah.
So he was like, I heard you got your own plane, Tom. He said, yeah, you know, when people say, hey, Benji, I need a ride. Hey, this is the excuse I give him, my car in the shop.
Yeah.
So here goes Tom. Hey, my plane in the shop, man. My plane in the shop. I said, what the fuck? And he's looking online.
What do you think you were hitting him up for?
Like, I need to go somewhere real quick.
Yeah,
he
gotta
said,
go to Orlando.
He says, I'm looking online. I caught him online. He's shopping for I want like a 737. And he says, look at, I think it's John Travolta. He says, look at that. I want one like that or bigger, but I need a longer landing strip. That's the only reason I can't buy the shit, because I need more strip.
God damn.
Ain't that some shit? In Ocala?
Yeah.
That's where he showed me. He showed me.
Pulls it right up to his house.
He said, I need some more concrete. And when I get some more concrete, I'm going to go and buy that motherfucker. I said,
God,
damn.
He's a legend, man.
I wonder if like Tom
That's what it is.
Joyner.
You're really
like,
good on that show, by the way, man.
Oh,
Like,
thank you, man.
I love it when you bring the characters and everything.
He loves it. I think he has a infatuation with Makiki.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right.
Tom was a sick old predator.
Benji, you think there'll ever be that kind of money in terrestrial radio again? It doesn't seem like it. With the advent of the internet, and like those guys were they hit a sweet spot in being able to be broadcast across the country. Now it's like with the internet, it's kind of taken that ability to get paid to be in other stations away. Syndication is kind of gone.
You just brought up a great point.
Yeah.
It may never get exactly to that level, because it's just like he got in that era where that was the end all be all. You want to hear me? You got to tune in.
Yeah, and you got to pay for every city. Now it's just all open. It's just given out for free everywhere.
Given out, right? So, like you said, the advent of social media and everything's so quick and instant. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So man, but
Man,
you know,
he made the money though.
But he told me, he said he was, he thought I felt good doing $1 million flying from Chicago to Dallas every day.
Yeah, every day.
And he's getting. I was getting my Sky Miles on American every day, and then I sold my. He said he's proud. He has it framed. I sold my show. I won't say ABC or somebody bought it, and he said. I said, how much? I mean, if it's not too, I want to get in your business.
Yeah,
how much? And he says, I sold it for like, he was 72 or 76 million.
Ooh,
and he said,
wow.
he said, I'm proud of that deal. the only thing is I don't have the control say so anymore. But
Yeah.
I said, shit, they can say all what they want. 72 motherfuckers.
Yeah.
76.
And I'm
You can
sure.
cut my fingers off.
What do you want? Fingers are
let's-
set. I'll buy new fingers.
Yeah, let's talk
I'll
about
make
it for
fingers
lunch.
out of fucking money. My money fingers.
I don't have control over the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut my feet off.
Yeah. I'll literally be picking my nose with $100 bill finger.
So
you know
fist your nose.
What's funny to me is that it's not really funny, but like when you name other big time like upper echelon radio guys, you know, everybody has an opinion. You know, like they'll say something about like even like your Howards and your Rush Limbaughs, and I'm trying to think of other ones that are like up on that tier.
Yeah, all the like.
But Tom Joyner, I don't ever hear anybody really go in on him and say like, no, that guy's a real prick or anything like that.
No.
It sounds like he did it kind of right. It sounds like he did it and he didn't really have to like, you know,
Fuck anybody over.
fuck anybody over or fuck a staff over or anything. It sounds like he just did it. And the one thing I always thought was crazy about
Everybody
him,
always talks good about him too. Like I never really
He's a
heard
good
it.
guy.
that
Like,
daily travel flight that you just mentioned, that always blew my like. I could never, because we work hard and we always say like, especially around this place, like in podcasting, we're like, no one will ever outwork us. But that's a special kind of work, man. When you get done doing a show and then you get on a plane and then you fly, I guess you're prepping on the plane and then you get there and you do a whole nother show and then go back.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And you're like, he did it right. He's a good guy. You know, he's a giving person. Like he does so much in the community.
Yeah. He's always been like that.
donates, and he has something for everybody. You know, he's giving out scholarships, and he does like, you know, hey, if I have to do the sky shows and the cruises where it's just a big freaking party.
Yeah.
As a matter of, I've never been on any of his cruise. Tom, that's fucked up, man. I've never done the cruise. But
You can come on our cruise.
I heard. Hey, let me know when I'm there.
Yeah.
I heard like the last night, if it's a Saturday night on the cruise, it's like maybe a weekend or a week. They said Saturday night, the final night of Tom Joyner's cruise is called Might As Well Night. If you're there by yourself as a guy, a woman's there with some friends, she's not on a date with the crew. Last night, we might as well.
We should do a might as well.
Yeah, we should do that.
I think every night is might as well.
Wife and my
Might as
daughter.
well.
Yeah, pretty much.
You start an argument on the night before the last night with your wife. You know
All
what?
right.
Fuck it. And then you just leave the room, the cabin. Fuck it. I might as well. It was a girl at brunch earlier today.
Oh, you'll always argue
All
on a
right.
cruise. I've argued with my wife on every cruise I've
For
been
real?
on. Yeah.
It's like you just get, I guess, a cabin fever.
You do. You get you're up each other's ass in there, and then
drunk,
the
you're
baby's
salt
acting
blown.
crazy. Yeah.
All you can drink and stuff.
You get a sunburn. Your wife comes in.
Tired of seeing
Yeah,
her.
I want to fuck. She don't want to fuck, and we start
You have
yelling.
diarrhea.
Why do we
Yeah,
got to fuck?
because we on a cruise.
But I don't want to fuck all the time.
Bitch, but hey, that's why we got married. Shit, the fuck all the time.
All right, I have a new
Exactly.
theory, and tell me if you guys agree with this new theory.
Okay,
right?
all right.
So we all agree that like guys that have reached the peak of terrestrial radio, your Howard Sterns, your Tom Joyners, and like they work their ass off
Yes.
early on in their career.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but I have this new theory that the easiest job in entertainment, right, is if you make it to the highest height of terrestrial radio, and you only have like let's say 5 to 10 years left, and you're working out the end of your career, right?
Okay. So kind of like where Howard is now on Sirius.
Or like Tom Joyner. That spot has to be
That's
the
the sweet
easiest
spot.
easiest job in entertainment because at that point
You've earned it, yeah.
The only thing people want to hear is just your voice, and they're like, "Can you come to work and just talk?" Like all you have to do is talk. You don't even have to do anything. Like you know, have some support staff or whatever. Just you talking. That's all they want to hear. You're like, I can talk. That's all because you don't really even have to.
Okay,
be
there is some truth to that because the last appearance
Yeah.
that I was watching you and Kiki is talking to Tom, and Kiki was talking about how she was pregnant and it was Tom's baby, and all he did was laugh. So that, I gotta say that you want a fun job.
Yeah.
Sit in your house.
Yeah.
You got your studio somewhere else. They're broadcasting it. You have a famous comedian in doing a bit that's really funny, and your job is to laugh in your signature laugh.
And then people
I think you're right.
And then people are
I think
like,
you're right.
Tom Joyner killed it today. Like literally, he just laughed in his bathroom.
He just had fun.
You pregnant, Kiki?
Yeah.
I'm pregnant.
That's it. That was it.
That's all he had to do.
It's your baby. You the daddy.
And he earned
and then
that.
hammer summer
fucking
checks.
earned
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
He
yeah.
told me years ago.
He worked his ass off to get to a point where that is the pinnacle year.
God
He
damn.
told me years ago. He said, "Man, I don't care no more. I'll pitch you a nice, easy softball so you can hit the home run." He said, "Benji, you know why I do that?" I said, "Why, Tom?" He says, "At the end of the day, people gonna be in the break rooms on their job. I'm like, did you listen to Tom Joyner this morning? They're not gonna say." I said, "Damn it!
Brilliant.
I let you bamboozle me."
Yeah. He's like, I'll let everybody else just try their hardest because there's shit ton of listeners.
I'll get the
And
credit.
then he'd be like, Tom Joyner's, his show's great. And you just sat and laughed in
It's
his
so
bathroom.
good.
All you did was laugh like you on a porch, on a couch in the country.
Do you listen to a lot of radio? Like,
I do. I mean, I be surfing, man. Radio. I listen, sports talk, regular talk. I just like radio because it's just it's an art, man. Everybody can't do that.
It's funny. A lot of people, you're finding these people now. It's almost like vinyl. The people that are like, oh, I'm really into it.
Yeah.
You know, like I still enjoy it. You know, because it is on the decline. There's no way to not be. You know, with other type of media forms coming to the forefront. But still, there are people that are super passionate about it.
And it's a genre that, if you think about it, it probably will end up dying off because of so many, because of the internet, basically. You don't have to do that format. You know about format. Like radio is all about formatting, and it seemed like nowadays that format's gone out the window. And it's there's a million different formats, and it doesn't have to be this one thing that they worked on for 20, 30, 50 years. Yeah. And then they now got there like, all right, we figured out the perfect format, and then the internet blew up everything, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah, you brought up a great point, which is why I had I think it was like a religion. I converted a lot of my attention and ears rather to podcasts for the simple fact, like I just hate structure so much so in radio. I enjoyed radio maybe my first year or two. I was in it like 14 years.
It's
and then,
well, you're a
as hell.
creative person. I can
right.
kind of see
So it's
when
like
you're doing
boxed
bits
in,
and stuff. You're
stick
all
to
over the place.
Stick to a minute and 30 and then get out. And this and that. And stick to I'm like, fuck, I got another thought I wanted to say. Fuck, man, I hate this PD. It is and that. So, with podcasts, like you can still have your formats. Everyone likes the features and benchmarks. The only thing that I probably liked in regular radio would be the tease arts, art of the teasing.
Yeah.
Look, when we come back, you don't want to miss this. This lady walked into the store and then her check was declined. We'll tell you why. A credit card was declined. We'll tell you why. Stick around. Don't move. Like that. But I get the monotony kind of. It just because with the simple and let's call right now. Knife caller, you on the air. Let's see if you won. You're calling from. What's your name? Jennifer, what's that station that hooked you? Come on.
It's the same.
Give me the podcast. Because
God, you gave me chills and like it's taking me back. Man.
yeah,
I'm having
but I
flashbacks.
just like the podcast, the feel because I can listen to it when I want. You end up basically marrying the people and the content on the podcast every day. Like you make
It's
an
very
appointment
intimate,
or the week or whatever, and you can. It's just you like them. It's conversation. You feel like they just talking to you. Like I'm sharing it. It's just different. I love the place of art, and y'all to me, I would say I don't know too many successful or captivating podcasts. The crew, everything is like so damn put together. It's ridiculous.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate that.
This might be the Willy Wonka.
I'm an Oompa Loompa for sure.
Get into the elevator. I'll blast
Butler is kind of dressed like
Hey,
an
did
Oompa
you
Loompa
see
tonight.
what our sales guy's dressed like?
Yeah.
He's embarrassed as shit. Did you see him?
I saw it.
Butler, get in here. I want Benji to
Look
see
at
you
that.
again. Yeah.
Don't look like you got the golden ticket right there. I got the golden tickets. Tom and Dan, they gave me the ticket.
It's like you just decided to wear lederhosen today.
Yeah, it's not even for anywhere. We're
I
like,
think he laid that outfit on the bed last night and looked at it. Yeah, I'm going to kill him tomorrow.
Yeah, he did.
They not going to be ready for
hey,
this.
here's the funny part. He brought a pair of khaki shorts in case we shamed him so bad.
Serious?
Yeah, he did.
Damn, how can you second guess
Yeah.
yourself? You got to believe in your outfit.
He brought a bug out bag of like change of clothes.
You
so
know it's crazy when even Kiki,
What is you wearing?
Well, Benji, I was about to bring that up because we talked about like formats and stuff, and some of the like most awkward format for like interviews is morning TV and like news and stuff
Benji
like
has
that.
to do it.
I know, and you probably know this.
How do you
because-
not just destroy it? Just fuck it up. I would want to just ruin the show.
So like
I'm gonna do that on my swans, my last lap.
So Benji, I was like, I go through and I look at some interviews you were like recently done and stuff like that. We do that with every comedian that comes in, and then
Imagine that you try to be a little little prepared.
I caught a morning show you were on. I don't know where it was.
I
like
watched this.
Cincinnati
I
area.
watched this too.
And it's so, like they because they have like a certain time. It's really quick. It's like a 5-minute hit. They sit you down in some uncomfortable couch in the studio, whatever. They try to make it like it's like a cozy, like it's Morning Joe show, and then it's two of the most corny hosts, and it's not on them. It's like it's part of it built into TV, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna fuck up your name.
Yeah.
But no-
Jimmy Braun is here.
What is it, Benny? Benny?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Benny?
Then they awkwardly like have like this agenda. They can't just have a normal conversation because that would be out of format, right? They have this agenda, and they usually, in this particular case, they go to your character Kiki, and then they're like, "Hey, tell it." And then the whole interview is like them.
Hey,
asking you,
everybody,
like,
Kiki's here.
Yeah. And then you're like, "Oh God!" You're like, "I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm not prepared. Like, I don't like. I'm. That's when I do a character.
Do they
like,
want
just-
you to burn bits? Do they
Yeah,
want you to
oh,
burn a
yeah,
character?
They try to do all the time. I mean,
Is it awkward for you every time? Because
Very.
me, I'm
It's
watching it. I'm like,
aggravating.
oh.
aggravating as hell, man. All the time. I was like, you just name the place, the city. They all do it every time. Every time. Tell us, so Kiki. No, motherfucker. It's Benji.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Kiki. So hey, what's the weather? It's gonna be hot today, Kiki. What would you wear when it's hot?
Yeah, like you wouldn't do that.
Stop talking to me.
You wouldn't do it to an actor, like, and start interviewing them with their, their
Well, I mean,
role.
like what's his name? The just playing the Joker. You know, like
Joe Quinn.
right now, like the new, like
Yes,
you wouldn't.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Like you
I said
wouldn't
Joe Quinn.
interview him and be like, "Wow, guys, the Joker's here. Hope he doesn't murder me." Like you wouldn't do that.
And so, do you just like? Are you ever? You're a nice guy, Benji, but are you ever tempted to be like, why would you like just turn it serious and awkward and then watch him
Like
melt?
if you froze,
Oh my
if they're
God.
like, "So what would Kiki say?" and you're like, don't say that.
I'm gonna piss him off one day.
Don't you ever say that to me.
Yeah, don't
you
ever.
ever.
Where's Kiki? She at the hotel. Ask me something else.
Yeah,
Next question.
She's up your ass, motherfucker. Like, they're like, we'll go to break. You know, like,
Go to break. The producers are actually for the TV stations are really annoying.
do they get a little worried because, like, I mean, your act isn't like, I mean, you'll use some language, but it's not like it's filthy or anything.
Not
right?
at all.
I mean,
not at all.
do they get worried though?
They get worried. They try to give you the rundown. They read you your Miranda rights before you get arrested. Hey, while I might go here, put that under your shirt. Listen, you know this is news, right? And just so you know, today we don't have a 8-second delay. Okay, so can you please just sit, please? And I'm a Christian, good, a father of 4, and I can't. I get fired. I really. My wife just she took a maternity leave. Can you please just?
I fucking love your voices, man. Do you do a lot of voiceover work?
Actually, finally getting for the last year.
I think
and a
we
half.
talked about that last
Yeah.
time you were here because
Yeah.
I'm like because it's not like you're doing impressions. You're doing like it's kind of like what I've always done on even our show is like I prefer to just do characters in my brain, like not impressions of people that are around me, and I like the fact that you'll just pop in and pop out of that. But like, yeah, I'm glad you're starting to do that, man,
Man, thank
because
you, yeah.
you're really good at it.
Appreciate
Well,
that.
that seems talking about like maybe the second sweetest gig in entertainment
Oh,
is like
man.
voiceover person professionally that just literally show pajama pants and like Monday to
Well, we
Friday.
had Nicole Byer in here, and she's starting to do a lot of that.
Oh,
like
man.
hammering.
That's a sweet gig, man.
It has to be. I was Googling actually about a year ago. The guys who make you go, sit on your couch and say, "I'm gonna go see that movie." What makes you say that? The guys in Hollywood, there was like 5 that they got all the jobs. I was reading articles of guys who they're capable of doing it. They just couldn't get the book to do this summer, this winter, this spring.
Yeah, see,
And
you
there's
can
this
do all
old
that.
one,
What's his name? That
Pablo Francisco does it. Some of it now, but it was
man.
Don LaFontaine, and his
That's the name I was.
his Don's gig was awesome because he did the Tom Joyner. He worked his way up till then they built the professional grade, better than professional grade, whatever optimum grade voiceover booth in his supposedly was in his basement.
Wow.
So he would get out of bed, the alarm would go off, and then he'd have like a list of what he would have to do. Had an ISDN line in.
Yeah.
He'd go downstairs, just cup of coffee. It'd all be set up because he had an assistant. It'd have like what he needed to read. He'd turn on the mic. There'd be another engineer somewhere else in the world
That's a dream.
that would turn it all on.
Yeah.
He'd just step up to the mic. It's already rolling. He just says his lines. fucking turns off the mic.
That is
The
dream.
$1 million check,
Over.
the
Yeah.
$1 million check is in the mail, and then I guess at like let's say 10:30, he's like, "Well, I don't know what to do today with my millions."
that's great. That's a dream. I was
The same guy from Dateline NBC, the guy that's like,
Oh, yeah.
and they found out later that she was murdered.
Are you
Like
talking
he's kind of
Keith?
quirky, snarky.
Oh, that guy. Okay, good.
That
they got
guy-
a little rotation of people.
They wanted to build him a studio. He said, no, just give me the money. He built his own, and he just does it where he just moves his jackets and sets a mic in front
Come
of
on,
him.
Keith Morrison.
Keith Morrison.
Yes!
His voice when he does those. I watch Dateline. That's
But
my
anyway,
thing.
yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
these
you
guys
good.
are that's the dream, man.
That's the dream job. I had kind of looked at some tutorials on the voiceover, especially with the commercials and movies, and I always thought you only had to do that voice. Even if it's for something nice like a Disney movie, you can't somewhere in the land the bird. No, they have guys where that's right. Take the entire family to see. This is that guy. Get the entire family. It's the holiday movie of the year.
Yeah.
Washington Post is calling it. They'll be lying. I ain't say that shit. But so I learned that. I was like, oh, okay. You have when it's Michael Myers. You can't be like, that's right. Take the family to see Michael Myers. Get out, break out of the crazy house, and kill the entire family.
right.
Get killed for the holidays. No, it's Michael Myers this Halloween. Oh man, you got the. That is the shit.
Best. It's the best.
Like you said, you in your pajamas doing that.
Benji,
Money.
I think I talked to you last time you were here about 99 Jams in Miami because down in when I grew up in Miami and there was 99 Jams and Power 96 and they're two competing hip hop
And
stations.
what would a young man living in Kendall say? What was your station? What was your flavor?
Well, we went back and forth.
That was funny. I
you know,
remember that.
Yeah. It went back and forth between 99 Jams and Power 96, and then it ebbed and flowed, and people would go back and forth.
Were there famous DJs that were on there that you followed as a kid?
Well, that
or-
one DJ that
DJ Laz?
the DJ Laz was on
DJ
Power.
Laz.
He was on Power 96.
At the
Yeah,
time.
the old boat.
The boat accident.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was rough.
It was bad. You know what? I have heard. And
Apparently, Dice Man.
I've just been told this, but apparently, if you're out on a cigarette boat and you suck your friend underneath and you mow him to bits, it ruins the party.
I think it was one of the listeners. It was like an equivalent of us doing it to a BDM, like pushing our boat, our giant four-prop $1 million boat.
It's like fucking hit the gas, and then we suck one of our mediums under. And I'm like, fucking don't talk about it.
You guys
Let's
ready
get-
to
Throw
You know
all
what
of
I do? I go right out to sea. Never to be seen again.
ready to go back?
in your experience, because
so
listen, radio is Phil Paola and Plugola and all this shit, and I assume in Miami it is. That's all it is.
It's gotta be.
because
Man.
So you're applying U&M logic to like sideline, like money logic to like radio.
I tell everyone I'm like Miami, the city where everybody's scamming each other. Like that's all it is.
really
Everybody's hustling. Like
Can I
everybody's
say that?
hustling, scamming.
I don't want to piss off all of his friends, and I know that they're now my
No, they
friends.
know.
But all of your friends have at least 5% scammy in all of them.
You
Every
have
one
to.
of them.
That's
Yeah.
the.
I'd like to meet these guys.
Well,
Good people.
Benji, it's the only way to live. Like I always
It's
wanted.
the only way to live.
They're in Miami.
Trust
like,
me. You
Oh,
gotta-
he's was in a movie called A Miami Tale. Have
I
you
know.
seen that?
I haven't seen it, but I want to talk to you about
Miami
that.
Tale. I didn't know about this. What's it
Oh,
about?
yeah,
I want to
Trina's in
see
it.
that.
Trina.
I love
the
Trina.
rapper.
Me too.
What was the backdrop of it was
Trina,
in
was she the
Miami,
baddest
of course.
She is the baddest.
Yeah,
She's
the
the baddest
baddest bitch. It was women trying to withhold sex from their boyfriends to get men to act right. It was the Battle of the Sexes movie, and
All right.
Trina is like the spokeswoman of the
like
ghetto
it.
Is Trick
hood rat
Daddy in it?
girls. Trick Daddy. That's what I'm thinking in hindsight. How in the hell?
I know.
do you do a Miami Tale movie without Trick Daddy Dollars, the real woman scholar,
I know.
T-double-D, y'all?
I
thought
like
he was
how Tom goes, like, sorry to goof on you, but Tom looks at you and he goes, is Trick Daddy in it? That might be the funniest thing I've ever heard you naturally say, not
Man.
trying to make a joke.
It was-
Excuse me, Benji Brown.
Excuse me, question, Benji.
Is Trick Daddy in there?
Isn't every Miami
That's
like
hilarious.
Oh, you got tears in my eyes.
Trick Daddy was not in the movie. He probably was on either in jail or on tour.
yeah. But when you were doing radio in Miami, it had to have been like everybody's hustling.
That'd be crazy,
Yeah.
man.
It like
What a market to work, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't realize the impact that.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, wow. When I look back, I was like, man, I don't think I maximized the potential. I did a lot now, but I hate it when they tried to regulate the payola thing, because I was getting like, man, crazy money. I was getting money to say just the name. It was like Dope Boy. Man, just say Border Boy. I'm like, sheesh. All right, I'll.
Like in Miami's different. Like you'll get payola money from screaming out drug dealers' names.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like,
they'll be in a parking lot.
Harder to for the FCC to track down. By the way,
But we don't know what it means.
That's
hilarious.
Benji, I know you host a lot, and I
It's
feel
a hard
like
gig, man.
Yes, and hosts never get the credit for how difficult it is to do.
I think
like
it's
a
one of
hosting
the
gig.
most difficult forms of improv. I truly believe that hosting,
like keeping it together, being funny,
keeping it tight,
being confident, and usually a scenario
and helping
where,
with the energy flow of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And
that's hard.
because you've hosted a lot of like NFL, charity stuff and things like.
That's
like,
a sweet gig,
do you think the same way? Like hosting is more difficult than people think.
It can be.
Yeah.
It's every now and then. If you set it up to where, everyone's really coming out, because we love the host. We love that guy. We love his vibe. The pressure's on the host. But if it's you can you could do the Tom Joyner thing. I'm gonna set it up to where the actual other comedians or whoever other forms of entertainment to put the onus on you to provide like the bulk lion's share of the content or entertainment, then it's just an easy gig. But sometimes you have to save the day. As the host, you really have to save the show a lot.
Yeah. Has there ever been a hosting gig that went terribly wrong and you were like, oh shit? Like you usually the people around, because it's funny because as a host,
like the hosting equivalent of sucking your friend under a boat.
Party's over.
Yeah, that's not good.
like usually the host is up there and then like you have this event going on and people are like half paying attention. They're like eating or whatever.
That's what I've always
Like,
hated.
You know what?
And then shit's going wrong, but you take it more seriously. Like, everybody in the party, they're like, whatever. Like no one cares. And but
Have you ever run an auction?
I've never.
Because I think Tom will
charity
agree with me. The charity
bidding.
auction is the worst gig you can ever get.
You know what?
It's hard.
I was it didn't never happen. I think the deal fell through. I had a gig about to be booked at a hedonism.
Nice.
Right, and they were going to do an auction like at after dinner each night. It's all inclusive, and I was trying to practice, line the ladies up. All right, anybody want a big titty, small waist, big booty? Come on, anybody 30? Oh, anybody say 40? Yeah. But I've never been. I had a hosting thing that went bad because, just like Tom said, it was a scamming promoter who he booked, put celebrities, big A-list celebrity comedians on flyers, but he never really booked them. He packed these places out. I'd be the host, and the gig was every week. It was like Fridays or Saturdays. All right, Benji, now's the time. Go up and tell them Jamie Foxx got sick. Go up and tell them. Eddie Murphy's flight got
Was
canceled.
this in Miami?
Yeah, in Miami.
Oh, but there it is.
Go
That's the
figure.
only way to live.
We've never heard one like this before, man.
So this one
I
night,
feel like we get Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, and people buying tickets. And they're like, Benji, go say they got sick.
don't tell them Red Fox didn't make it. Red Fox been gone for a long time. And why did you people show up thinking Red Fox would be here anyway?
Yeah. So did you have to go out and tell the audience?
All the time. And I was so scared. This one night, it was in Miami, it was at this time, it was the mid 90s. Actually, from 96 to 2000, it was
We call that peak scam years.
it was peak scam window.
It's pre-internet. No one knew.
PSY scenario.
And
Yeah,
these
peak seniors.
shows, they were on South Beach. This is when comedy on South Beach, and these venues, the strippers would come, the drug dealers, and the athletes, the NFL guys, and Luke Skywalker, Luther Campbell,
there
they
he is.
come,
Uncle
and,
Luke.
and the dope boys, the drug dealers would be in the crowd. These were some killers out there, and I'm like, this was when he booked, Jamie Foxx on the fly. Put him on the fly. Benji, Jamie didn't make it. Guy, sir, I know he didn't make it. You want me to go? He said, look, go out there and tell the people that unfortunately Jamie won't be here. And I'm like, not tonight. All the killers are out there. So I go out there. And I said, it's only one person. I went out there with my wig on with Kiki. I said, tapping the mic. Is this thing on? Got some bad news for y'all. And people looking like, why does that woman look familiar? Stop staring at me. Close your eyes. I got something to tell y'all. Jamie. And they were, I mean, it was fights, brawls, bottles flying, tables. It turned into a big, and that was my last time working for the promoter. What was his name? Magnum. Isn't that something? Yeah, Magnum.
Who would have thought a promoter named Magnum in Miami would have been scammy as
Oh,
shit?
Magnum. Look here, Benji. I mean, the flyers were beautiful.
Oh, I
Eddie?
bet. Glossy.
Yeah, glossy flyers. He laminated them like, damn. He had to sell all the VIP tickets. Girls were fighting to get backstage. I'll sleep with you if I can see Jamie. Like, come on.
Why?
Oh, my God.
Okay, I may have just found the most scammy person in the entire world. Any promoter in Miami, it has to be on the top of
Named after a giant condom or an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Promoters are bad to begin with for the most part. I mean, there's good
With a
ones,
novelty name, that's a
Janky
bad
promoter.
sign. You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
check that off, right?
Magnum.
Magnum.
scammy promoters in Miami. There should be a reality show.
How did he sell it to you?
The actual show?
Yeah, like at first was he very upfront immediately about like, hey, this isn't gonna happen?
No. At first, I had to catch on. Like he'll be like, "Man, I'm gonna book you," and he'd use me every week, even when he didn't, bullshit the promotions.
Right.
He just he always set up shop at hotels and used the ballrooms, pack it out, and I would get paid $50 every either Friday and Saturday. But I looked at the silver lining. I got so much stage time and practice.
That's a lot of people too.
Yeah, and it was mixed crowds, balanced, so I was able to, just hone my skills. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He would first tell me, "Man, Benji, I'm going to book you." He talked like Kermit. "Benji, I'm going to book you," and this is you're going to be on show. And I had my family come out. I'm like, "Mom, I'm getting ready to host a show. Guess who I'm hosting for? Jamie Foxx." "Oh, that's my baby." Ooh, she go get my grandma. "I'm going to get my dress and get my shawl." Everybody got there. I mean, I had the entire day. Never came to see me perform. I couldn't believe my mom. This is the very first show she's coming to.
And when your grandma's putting on what she calls her after five.
Yeah, her after five.
After five.
She put on her White Diamonds perfume.
Yeah.
That's the
White
perfume that is
Diamond.
reserved for church. They done made my grandma use up the last bit of her goddamn White
Yeah,
Diamonds.
she's like Batman. She goes to her cabinet. That shit's
It is creaking.
It's like hidden in a special case. Like my mom's like that. She's like, this is I need to put on my Oscar de la Renta.
Yeah, they pass it down the family
They
to
always
the nieces.
She's had that one bottle for 35
Yeah,
years. My
yeah.
dad bought her that bottle of perfume when he was 27.
See, all the young girls in the family.
What are you giving me, Grandma? I want you to have this. This perfume has been in a family for decades, centuries.
It's 200 years old.
Centuries.
It's still half full. How much
still
is
half
She never goes out.
Don't squirt too hard.
Granny never goes out.
Yeah, man, I couldn't believe I had to sit there. My mom, "Why didn't Jamie make it, Mom?" Now I'm the biggest liar in the family. Every Thanksgiving they bring up. Remember that year Benji lied? That's Uncle. Benji lied and said Jamie Foxx. Look, God damn it. Look,
No matter what you do, it's until that one time.
God damn, I can give everybody money and Christmas cards, but I remember you lied that one year. Benji the Lion Brown.
That's awesome.
Benji, what have you found? I mean, you've been doing this a while. So what have you found that's changed as far as now? It seems like we talked to a comedian last week about how specials are getting smaller. People's attention spans are getting smaller. There's so many different ways to put out stuff like Netflix. Everybody's got a streaming service, and you can get specials on there pretty quickly. People are turning around specials once every couple of years, hour specials, which seems way too fast as far as people used to work on their special for 5 years.
Like there's so many coming out by big name comedians. I don't even have time to watch them.
It used to be a thing back in the days, like HBO or Comedy Central.
Showtime.
And
That was big.
And when
Remember
a
that?
special came out, it was maybe 5 a year
And it was-
at the most. And now it's unlimited. What do you think about that?
I agree. The name, that's what it was. It was because it was special. I remember that was the pattern, the pathology with your special comes on HBO. Normally it's because you are about to blow, go into orbit with your career.
Yeah.
Showtime, HBO, that was big. Oh my God, HBO special, everyone. And now it's almost like to me oversaturated. Shout out to Dion Cole. I just saw his maybe a couple of days ago. It took me back. It was like back to the roots of comedy. It wasn't.
I heard it's really good.
It's very good. So
we've had
relative.
Dion in before, and man, I saw him open for. Remember when Conan left?
Yes.
And I saw him open in Atlanta because I love Atlanta, and he opened there, and he probably just no ways around it. He was probably the best thing about the show. He killed it. He just destroyed.
Cold-hearted. That's a special. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. And do you think that they should pare them down, though? Because who was it that was saying that these specials are going to end up being close to 15, 20 minutes now?
Yeah, they're doing half an hour.
It's going to turn into a commercial.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. But it's over. Like, it's so many on her. Louis C.K. I was like trying to just sift through sometimes, and, I think it reminds me of how, like, that rate of people are going, man, I want to listen to podcasts or listen to my playlist. And people are, when it comes to the comedy specials, like you said, people just, hey, let's abbreviate it. There's so many, like you said, platforms. People, I think they're going to start putting specials that, hey, we're just going to do them YouTube. You could do it. You could do it yourself now.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Well, you've always done a lot of videos, a lot of characters and stuff like that.
You can hire a film crew and record your own special. They won't take that much money,
Well, not at all. Like you said, shorten it. People's attention spans. I mean, it's a microwave. People want it right now. We want to laugh, and we don't want to laugh 30 minutes to an hour. We want to just 15 minutes. That would be something. Get the same money for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
How much has your YouTube videos helped you out as far as booking out shows and stuff? And I'm sure it's been huge for you, right?
Huge, because especially with YouTube and other platforms, you got the analytic dynamics where you can kind of, and it's free. I don't know how YouTube's not charging for this, but you get your analytics. They break it down geographically.
Yeah. So you know where to go.
You know where to go. You look at it, and then it helps. The good thing with those platforms is people share them. They talk about it. That I learned, like, even here, like, I became, when I left the Tom and Dan the show, I started telling people and showing people the pictures. Hey, look, subscribe, and that's what it is. When people enjoy something, you talk. It's word of mouth. People start talking about it. They share it. I pay attention to more so the shares a lot on platforms like
That's smart.
Facebooks and stuff like that. And then I'll look and, okay, that person just shared it. How many followers? Boom. Okay, that's another. That one share, I tapped into their market of 3,000 followers. I tapped into 600. Some people, you got no name people that people just follow them.
Yeah, tons.
And people, the word, there's no substitute, there's no supplement for it. In the comedy game, I think, what do you call it? Netflix has been the platform now, it looks like, for specials. I see everyone. I got my Netflix special. I never thought I'd see the day people say that. My Netflix special's coming out, and then you got companies, they're putting a little money, billboards and commercials and social media buys. Go check that special out. But they're coming out and so much. Many comedians like, hold on, you got 2 specials in 1 year? You got 4 in a 2-year span? What is this? Like, I'm a fan. Dave Chappelle's grown on me. I've never been a great or big Dave Chappelle fan, but I've looked at him like, damn, I've never seen that many specials to where when people get too familiar, I always get a little scared. People like, I always see them, as opposed to, like, right now, hearing the words of, or the news of Eddie Murphy finally coming back to hitting the stage again.
Yeah.
And
there's a certain mystique there.
Exactly. That's the word right there. You just hit it.
Well,
People
Madonna always had that.
For it.
Like, she would pull back and you wouldn't hear from her. Prince did it. Prince was probably the king of it.
Yeah.
Prince would pull back, and then he put out an album, and then you'd never hear from him for like 6 years. But then when he popped up, it was
boom.
Kabam! There was no
major. It's major.
He never did 9 albums in a year or anything.
Well,
there can be an oversaturation, I guess.
It is kind of what Dave Chappelle did, but when he came back, it was like boom, 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 but hour special.
He was
So now it's like,
Making up for that $50 million he turned down.
Right. I think he's already made it back. So,
Yeah,
but
probably,
then it's hard. I'm guessing thing, with anybody when you're so much demand. It's kind of like what he made. Even Dave Chappelle made the joke. You get Kevin Harted, where it's like if the industry's throwing insane amount of money to you to do
true.
easy jobs, probably to you because Kevin Hart is a talented guy and a workaholic apparently. So I mean, how do you turn it down? But then if you don't ever turn anything down, people start talking shit and like, oh, you're sold out. You're on everything. Like you're,
right.
And then it starts diminishing your
unless
reputation.
you're Sam Jackson. And then nobody says a word.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
He's
But he
too
plays
fucking cool.
characters.
He's
Yeah.
just cool.
Yeah, you're right.
You're like, dude, be in Star Wars, Sam. You're great.
Yeah. Well, he told everybody he doesn't give a fuck.
He
He's
took
like,
the power away, right? Didn't he kind of take the power
Took
away by
power
saying,
away.
look, I'm going to do every movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm gonna do every movie. I don't care what y'all see.
I'm gonna get my money, and then everyone's like, "All right, touche, Sam Jackson." Like you're right.
Yeah, well said.
You're right. How do you turn today? You're right.
But so Benji, where do you go on vacation? Where do you go to relax, chill out? Do you take much
Or
vacation?
do you?
I do relax. I go to my backyard, or I just like chill on my couch. I like to
like to be at
quiet.
home, yeah.
I am a true homeboy. I'm a homebody. I like relaxing, and I'm blessed, man. I think I got a nice like a resort of a backyard or home where I could just don't have to go to South Beach. I live way to me the suburbs, way west Mirror. I live in the Everglades. No more west to go. It's just alligators.
Okay. Yeah.
But I like to relax, man. I love peace and quiet. I like sports. I'll watch like when college football is back. That's my holiday. Saturdays.
Yeah.
So it's all day long, just put game after game. My girl, Kiki, they all get mad. Another game? Yes, bitch. 3 o'clock is a game.
Another game?
Yes,
Oh,
at
believe me,
7:30, 8 o'clock.
Another game? Damn.
I don't say nothing about your reality show.
I know.
true.
Oh, my
That's
wife last night, she's like, "It's on again." I'm like, "Thursday night football." Like,
Thursday, Friday,
it's Thursday,
Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to February. I told you.
Do you ever like use any of your hookups, the people you know? Because I'm sure you've been in Miami a long time to go to get maybe a sideline or the box seats or get any cool perks.
Every now and then, from the NFL to the NBA, guys. What's so cool is I established those relationships from doing a lot of college homecomings, universities, comedy shows.
Yeah.
And you'll have those guys. Those soon to be first round draft picks. They're at the shows. They love comedy.
Yeah.
And
they're not rich yet.
Yeah, they're not rich yet. And they always make promises. They keep them. Hey, man, when I get in the NFL or the NBA or in the majors, man, when I do my celebrity weekend, man, I'm going to get you and put together a show and this and that. And we keep in touch. And it's like that's how it forms.
That's
and
awesome.
So when I'm in town, like I had my boy Edrin James came out to my show last night at the Improv. And I don't know how I'm up. I'm thinking it's just the show. Let's shake hands, kick it in the dressing room, and then that's it. But he's like, man, let's go to the Legion, American Legion, man, and let's just drink and laugh at the old people. And so we go last night.
That sounds fun as hell.
You have the American Legion.
We
with
went to
Edrin James.
Edrin James, and we in there like till 3 a.m. I'm like, what the hell? I got to get up at 6. and
That sounds amazing,
man, it's cool. So when they come to the shows because they love it. They love being entertained, and we love, going to their games. So it's like a little trade off. I'll give them they want to sit in the back. They feel like that's special. Just put me in the back. That's like a VIP. And I'm like, well, put me in the box, motherfucker. I want to put me in the field. Put me right on the sideline, and it works. Works.
I've heard watching, like, from listening to podcasts and the people talk about, like, every once in a while they'll get invited down onto the field to watch a game, and everybody always says, like, not that good because you can't really see anything because all the players are way taller than you are.
It's not a good place for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm down there. I'm like, I'd rather be up way high.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Put me in the box so I can see everything, and then if I get bored, I can fall asleep.
It's the best food up there too, and drinks. They just tell you, man, just tip the the butler lady, whatever, the guy lady, and then you good, man. Yeah. Oh my! One time, I shared a box. We split it 3 ways with a couple of Miami Dolphins players at the time, Ted Ginn and Joey Porter.
Oh wow, very cool.
So we split it 3 ways, and I only got the chance to really go to 3 games because of weekend shows.
Sure.
I had to be out of town, and I give them to friends. But 2 weeks ago, I remember Mike Epps was in town, and I said, man, I don't know what you're doing, man. But let's go to a game, and they were playing the Seahawks. Pete Carroll just got there, and Mike's crazy. He's so high. He's in the box. And he don't even play. Man, who playing, man, today? I said, excuse me. We're at the Dolphin game, Mike. Damn, the Miami Dolphin game. That's crazy, man. I'm all up in the box. And, man, and I'm like, Mike, if you're the commentator, how would you, commentate the game? Then Ted Ginn got the ball. He's to the 15, the 30, the 40, a 45, 47. No, that's all about the Benjamin movie, Mike. Goddamn. Bernie Mac, I always start thinking, man, what if they just, you know what, let's have special guests commentating. That would make the NFL just like Bernie Mac doing back in those days, man. Look at he with the ball. He to the 30, the 40, he to the 50. God damn, they let him tackle him at the motherfucking goal line.
So I miss me some Bernie Mac.
Yeah, man.
Benji, are you a Dolphins fan?
Yeah, man. Born and raised, man. I was at the time I came up with Dan Marino.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was
So
spoiled.
did you.
I mean, every game was interesting, man. That golden arm, man, and then all of a sudden, like shit.
What do you think now
Mark
with the
Duper,
whole like
Duper, Clayton, those guys.
like tanking kind of a deal?
Tanking, they're trying to get the first pick in the draft. And
But do you agree with that they should do that? Because like, man, because I like soccer too, and man, if you do that in like an EPL, you get relegated. You're out.
You're out of there, right?
They'll just drop you to minor league.
Yeah,
and we don't have that, so I don't feel like that football teams have this pressure to still try to succeed with what they have, and I feel like that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
nothing.
I mean,
there's
but
nothing to gain
Dolphins
for
are my
Miami to
second
win.
team, obviously. I'm a Falcons fan. So
I was going to ask you about this weekend.
suck.
We are playing the Washington Redskins.
Smoking Jay.
And what they're calling the Tank Bowl, which is
I'll watch.
maybe the
It's
two.
gonna be a fucking mess.
They could be throwing interceptions on purpose. No, you get it. No, you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it. I
but-
need you to score, motherfucker.
People are saying this is
Tank
the
Bowl.
worst. I mean, the two worst teams in the NFL playing each other. No, I mean, as in a game, like I love gambling, and nobody wants to touch this game.
Does Vegas even have a point spread?
There's three. It started off at Miami plus 3.5, and
Where'd it move?
It got bet down to 3. So there was a lot of the sharper money, the gamblers on Miami. But then I've heard the argument that that they don't want Miami may not want the Redskins to lose every game and get the first round pick. You know, because they look at the Redskins schedule and they're like, this team may not win a game after this one. So then, but then there's like the Redskins are probably not going to draft Tua. So why does Miami care? Anyway, no one knows what to think. It's going to be hot
mess.
garbage. It'll probably be an easy game to go to because I imagine they're having a tough time selling tickets this year.
Oh no, I get the emails from Miami because we used to be on the press list. And they just emailed me. They're like, still tickets available. I'm like, yeah, no shit. They're like, why are you even sending the email? I know.
Get them marked down. You get a 4-game package for $2.
Benji, okay, well, I'll ask you this. Have you seen this a difference in players' like mentality nowadays, especially since everything is kind of so public? And as a player, like everything you do is so scrutinized and everybody's under a microscope and everybody's got a camera. Because you think about it, like, back in the 70s, 80s, whatever, you can go and basically do anything as long as the press didn't find out. And then and how much are they going to care, really? Now it's like anybody with a cell phone, which is everybody, can film you at any time. So you kind of have to be in your best behavior. Plus, a lot more players are taking it more seriously as a career and like, hey, I got to get my shit together. I'm not going to party. I'm not going to go, do these things. Have you seen that?
Yeah, plenty of time. It's time has changed, man. It's a camera. It's something in your face all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on the best behavior. I'm good friends. I'm so disappointed. I have to be a friend at times. Antonio Brown, and been talking to him, and he is just he's
your bud.
Have you
I
talked
just
to him?
be me. And you gotta try to stroke his ego before you give him some real friend to friend.
Look, you tried to give him some love. Give him some
so I always
advice.
I'd be like, Antonio, what's up? I said, brother, you are elite. You are amazing. You are so damn fast and talented, man. Thank you, man. That's what I'm talking about. Respect, my G. That's when he really listening. That's respect, my G. I said, all right. Now look, Antonio, man. What the fuck is you doing?
You're gonna butter him up first.
I don't like this conversation the way it's going, my G.
What's your opinion? Because if you know Antonio, I'm like, everybody's been throwing out these speculations. I mean, we all saw what happened and what played out. And at first, it was a brilliant move. And what I thought, I was like, oh, I mean, if you wanted to get traded from Pittsburgh and then get kicked off a team to go to a Super Bowl winning team, like you played it correctly. Correct. And I thought it was a chess move. And people were like, oh, he's got CT. I'm like, nah.
I thought he was just going to keep his mouth shut and ride it out.
And then
win a Super Bowl.
Of course, then you have so much publicity, and then you run the risk of like, you better be squeaky clean. You're like, there better not be anything in the past, and then shit comes up, and we all seen the story played. Regardless of whatever happened, what do you think he's gonna do now? Like, I know that he's been back and forth, and now and it seems like the press is eating up every single thing he tweets out, or like,
unfortunately,
and it's just like, it's
what's he even saying now?
It's almost like,
is he saying anything now, or is he keeping quiet?
He's taking advice from Trump. Is like, just tweet out whatever, and the press will go crazy and make headline stories. Antonio Brown goes back to college. It's like, why is this a fucking story? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, he's been actually listening to we rotate. You talk to him. You talk to him. You talk to him. Your turn. and so lately he's finally, I think, been listening to a lot to our other good friend mutually, Chad Ochocinco. And that's when Chad and Terrell Owens are trying to give you advice. Hey, stop tweeting, stop posting, just chill, lay low. I'm like, damn, look at you motherfuckers.
You got Ocho Cinco, T.O.
Pot and kettle. Look at you guys.
Telling you to be cool, bro?
Yeah, just chill out, man.
Eventually they do grow up. I used to love, because I'm an Atlanta fan, I used to love how unhinged Roddy White was. He'd get on Twitter and he'd just say the worst shit in the world, but then like his latest tweets have been like, I really enjoy coaching the youth. And I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at you growing up.
It can't be. Antonio Brown seems to me way too talented of a football player for his career to be done. And people have said, like, oh, his career's done. I'm like, do you know how greedy the NFL is? Do you know how much these teams want to win?
It's not like he's really, he's still amazing. Yeah. Why would you even think that?
I'm like, if it all plays out and then you have, like, and Antonio Brown has the ability to come back, I'm like, I feel like any team would probably want to have him back on the team. If everything ends up being okay for him, then it seems like that should happen. But I don't know. Because people are like, oh, CTE or this. I'm like, I don't believe any of that shit.
Yeah, no, I think he'll get back in the league. A lot of times, the GMs, they all probably call each other the owners. Let's just ignore him for a minute. None of us, don't hire him. Do not sign the guy, okay? Don't sign him. Chill out. Let him wait for maybe a season and a half, and we'll revisit it maybe next training camp. He's too freaking the man is an animal out there.
Yeah, he is.
And here's how I know that it probably has a good chance. They brought back Michael Vick after he killed dogs.
The chat room is basically giving you a list. Lemon Sweetie says in our Twitch chat room, if Richie Incognito can play, then Antonio Brown is still employable. I agree with that.
That is true.
100% agree with
that. The NFL, they tend to, let things simmer down, see what plays out. They're like, oh, how bad are we? Get him! They're like, I didn't win.
Well, look at the Chiefs for a while, right? I mean, they, issues they were having. It's like, and they're like, yeah, it's all good. It's fine. Put them on the field. It's good.
Yeah. Mike Vick, you're right. I forgot about that. He had a pending endorsement deal when he came with a rumor. Hush puppies, man. Ain't that some shit? I'm like, that wouldn't be good.
He is a playable and viable character on Madden now. He's doing play-by-play and he's doing color commentary. Come on.
So Benji, what do you think about them? Like California passed that bill as far as college football players being able to profit off their likeness and things like that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like that was the first step to this change that people have been wanting to do. Yeah. And if you know a lot of college football players, these organizations make a ton of money off their superstars, like their jersey sales, their ticket sales. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody wants when you got an up and coming.
They wrap the entire stadium with their ligness. There's like a 50-foot high, QB tossing a pass.
And I'm sure you've met some of these guys that are super. And it's bizarre because in the United States, the most famous, poorest first celebrity is a college football star.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they not allowed to make money, and, you know, unless Luke is giving you, side cash. You know,
bounty
everybody's
money.
making side cash.
Before he played the NFL, I was hanging out at a wrestling match. It was Dusty Rhodes, God bless him, he's dead now,
Classics.
versus like Cactus Jack in like a VFW with Dante Culpepper.
Yeah.
And it's just like he was just like a
wrestling fan.
guy, you know, but he was the entire UCF franchise at the time, and then
Destined to be in the NFL.
Went eventually to the Minnesota Vikings, I guess. Is that where he landed?
Yeah, he went to a bunch of different places.
Well, I mean, first,
but
you know, and then they thought, oh, this is the archetype for the new style of quarterback, you know, big and agile, and
That was my
you know,
guy, man.
But it was just weird to see him like it wasn't like he's like after the match, he's like, well, that was fun. He gets in like a Kia and drives off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're Dante Culpepper.
Dante
like that's
Culp,
weird.
That's my boy.
So have you seen that, dude? These guys are ultra famous and they're not making any money, all right?
Yeah.
And what do you think it's going to do? Regardless of the business model of it all, like for the player, you think they're ready to handle it? Obviously, I mean, they're going to eventually probably get millions anyway, and so only a year or two away.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I think the players should be compensated for their likeness, jersey sales, something. Because like you said, they're making a ton of money and not getting any of the revenue sharing from all those things. Autograph signings, the NCAA, they're just, hey, you can't, this is a violation. You know, you're an amateur athlete. Trying to use that to protect them under the umbrella. Amateurs don't get paid. So I think I want to see the chess moves. You know, California's made theirs. I hear South Florida or the state of Florida is trying to do it for 2020, and California's trying to do it effective 2023.
Okay, gotcha.
So Florida would actually they're piggybacking, but they're trying to pass the bill
Get
and
it
get it
before,
started.
push it through faster.
2020.
Well, it makes sense because all the colleges know that like all the star players are going to want to go to the teams that have this rule.
Have this rule in
why
their
not?
favor.
And Florida,
legislation.
you know, one of the biggest college states in the country. Of course, they would do it. You know, like all the big colleges want to track the number one recruits. You know,
Why not? Last question for you, because I know we've had you for a minute, but have you ever? And have we ever asked you about playing the Seychelles Islands? Have you played the Seychelles?
I don't think no.
It's a
The
bizarre
chat room,
thing,
the
Benji.
chat room wanted us to ask
Yeah.
you. So guys, I asked it.
So
I asked
speaking,
Benji.
do you know about this?
No, educate me.
Okay,
real quick.
right.
so there's this island off the Seychelles. It's called the Seychelles Islands, off the coast of Africa, and there's some sort of prince or
A sultan,
like
an
some
oil
rich
tycoon,
oil guy,
a king,
from the Middle
a
East. He
genie.
lives there.
I don't know what the fuck he is.
And he flies in comedians. We like Lunel, like Guy Tori. There's been a couple others that we've talked to.
Really?
And they fly him in the super opulent, and they perform to the Sultan guy and his harem of women and gay assistants because he
He
can't
doesn't
have
want
any
dudes
straight
hit-
men.
He don't want dudes hitting
Dude,
on his
it's
ladies.
bizarre.
So he only hires like gay dudes, so he can keep the ladies to himself.
And
Keep
then
him to himself.
Yeah.
Son
It's
of a
actually kind of a brilliant move.
smart, selfish son of a.
But they fly you over.
selfish.
They pay you a shit ton of money. You do stand up, and then you leave. It is a bizarre thing, and like to us,
You
I mean,
can't
they
look
don't-
him in the eyes.
Yeah.
You don't never see his face.
like he's sitting in the shadows. It's the closest to like some Game of Thrones type shit that
Damn.
really happens
Yeah.
now.
You know, somebody mentioned, hey, you know, want to get your availability, and I wonder if that's what they was meant because they was talking about the coast of Africa. I didn't.
Yeah,
nobody-
apparently it's like last minute. They like, hey, are you busy this weekend? They're like, fly out, and we'll fly you Friday. And it's like a weird
Wow.
thing.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
So you can't see the person. Really
No,
look at,
he's like.
but you're performing for him.
He's like. I think he's like. They said he's
Well,
like.
you're performing for his harem, and then he sits in the back in the shadows.
But you can't. Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
can't see.
that's
bizarre.
some scary shit.
Yeah. But they say they like you're on like a golf cart. They escort you to the stage. You perform. Curtain goes down. They put you on the golf cart. They take you back to like this suite. You hang out there for the night. And next morning you get on a plane. You go back.
But you can't get no ladies, nothing.
No.
No.
He'll probably scimitar your hands off. Or something. don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Put a snake in your bed.
At
Or
least put,
something.
if I could get on the phone with my agent, you could put that in the rider.
At least one lady.
You
At
have
least
to
one
execute the rider. I got damn, man. Y'all got me. I was scared because like how you said it, it sounded like a movie. You know, you're performing for his harem, and then
It's bizarre.
and then he's in the back. Oh shit! Like I'm getting chills. I'm so scared. Damn.
Well, listen, you've performed in front of killers before.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
You'd be
Fine.
If I can do that
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
ladies
You
and
could do
gentlemen,
dope boys. You
Jamie
could do,
won't make it. I've been in the lion's den before.
Well, Benji, thanks so much.
Man,
for
we
coming
love
by.
having
Thank
you.
you.
2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 1 show on Sunday. Get your tickets, please. It's
Yep.
theimprovorlando.com. That's the easiest way to book.
Yes.
And where can people find you on all your social media?
Oh man, all things social media, BenjiBrownShow.com, Benji Brown 1 on the Twitter and the Facebook, Instagram. Man, BenjiBrownShow.com. Plenty content. And lots of-
There you go.
Hit up Benji on social media because I really enjoy when our listeners, message you and let you know that they like the interview.
Yeah,
So-
hit him up. Like that always helps. We've been having our listeners have some sort of strange love affair with Lunel, and they've been like,
They love her. She be
they-
so weird. I'm telling you, she be sound like the drunk. The cookout.
Oh, that's good.
I'm telling you, I like me a young boy.
Yeah.
Young man break my old back.
She's-
Tom, come, I'm in
smoked him
room
out.
620.
yeah, she smoked him out. I think she wanted to fuck him in the bathroom. It was crazy.
Come on, little boy. Make you call your mom.
Go
She
see
breathing
Benji
hard.
tonight all weekend, and guys, we'll see you on the Friday Free Show. Later.